Welcome to True Crime with Strategic Eyes.
Strategic back again. What's going on, guys? I hope you guys had a great day so far. I sound like I got an echo. Is it just me? Oh, volume is too high. So I wanted to talk to you guys about some of the documents I'm going through out of that 501 page document dump. This is a pop-up live. I don't expect a lot of people to come here. One of the reasons I decided to do this live that kind of like motivated me to do this live. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. We just had an election last night, and a lot of people are divided. And I just felt like, you know what? Let me come online and maybe give people something else to think about. And like I said in my previous video, I took it down and I put it for members only because my previous video, I just basically said, hey, everybody go out and vote. It doesn't matter who you vote for. If you have a candidate that suits your needs, please go vote. And then in the comment sections, it started getting contentious with people saying, oh, you know, I support Trump or I support Kamala, and kind of just started being a little testy. So Aki, being who Aki is like, Strategic, put it members only, please, so that we don't have our comment sections turned into a political, debate or whatever. And so I did that because, we're not here to hurt anybody. But I just want to say before I get started on this, because it's an interesting document and I want to read it. It's nothing groundbreaking, but it really does break down how this case came to fruition. And I think it's important to hear it from this perspective because this perspective was not given to us in any other document dump that we've received so far, right? So I want to hear it from this perspective, this person who's writing up this document here. But I just want to say, hey, listen, regardless of who you vote for, somebody's going to win, somebody's going to lose. But at the end of the day, we're Americans. So keep that in mind, people. It's okay to be disappointed if you wanted Kamala to win. It's okay to be happy if you wanted Trump to win. But understand that at the end of the day, we have to find a way to come back together and just be Americans. And this is for my American audience, because we do have an international audience. But this also matters to the whole world, because whether people want to admit it or not, what America does affects the whole world. Our policies affects the whole world. We have the biggest economy in the world. So if we buy or we don't buy, that could mean the difference between a thriving economy in Europe or Asia or not, right? So we're all interconnected, we're all human beings, and we all affect each other. But once again, what makes this country so great is that we can have these peaceful exchanges of power and never forget where our allegiance truly lies. And our allegiance doesn't lie with Kamala or Trump. Our allegiance, us Americans, our allegiance lies with the Constitution and with each other, because it's the Constitution and each other that makes this country the great place that it is, the greatest country on earth. No disrespect to anybody who's international watching the show. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to disrespect you, but nobody is better than America. I'm sorry. I'm a patriot. So guys, I want to take your mind off of the election and talk about a victim who needs awareness, right? Somebody who we talk about this child because this child was so viciously taken away from us. And I just want to say this one last thing. I talk about this child because this is my expertise. This is what I do, investigating these type of cases. So this is my sweet spot. It's my comfort zone. And knowing that this child just had such a horrible life, it really hit me. Just like some of the cases that I have to work hit me. Sometimes, whether you want to admit it or not, you cry. And if you ever stop crying, that means you're not human anymore. So I'll come on here and I'll smile and, is what it is. But sometimes it does hit me. It does hit me, And so it is what it is. And one thing I would definitely implore my agency and every other agency out here is that they figure out a way to, give people who are exposed to this type of evil an outlet to kind of decompress. We don't have that. We don't have that. We have to find our own ways to deal with this stuff. So when you're that lead detective who's actually watching the videos that Stephen Stearns has done, as I have had to do that myself and see these horrible things, the horrible things that we are getting redacted and that they're not going to release to us. I've had to see those things. And those detectives, in Maddie's case, they've had to see Maddie abused. But there's no outlet for us to decompress, for us to get assistance in dealing with these horrors that we have to see. And if there's anything that I could change, if I become president one day, That's what I would change, you know? Give that mental health support for the people at the front lines. And that extends to everybody. Like even our soldiers abroad, when they come back, there needs to be some dedicated help for them to decompress. Our firefighters who see burned bodies, they need to be dedicated help for them to decompress. EMTs, the whole nine. There's so many people in certain, you know, professions, doctors, surgeons, that nobody thinks about what's up with their mental health, right? We should put that first. Anyway, big shout out to everybody who's coming through. 151 people so far on a pop-up live. I just literally set up and did 2 minutes ago. I really appreciate that, guys. I don't have any mods right now, so because I'm just doing a pop-up live, and I can't even get my family because I think they're kind of upset about the election. So not with me, but just the election, you know. So I think they're kind of like licking and just upset, you know, whatever. So I can't. If you guys act up, I will be trying to moderate while doing the show at the same time. You know, I'll just have to ex-nay it. No time to think about it. I just gotta peace. So try and be good. You know, just be respectful and agree to disagree, guys. We do have Sassy Nightbot in the room who's gonna be helping me out to the best of Sassy Nightbot's abilities. All right, guys, I want to go ahead and bring this up to you guys. Also, it's going to be a quick show, guys. Quick show because I have to leave to go to work. So let me zoom in real quick so you guys can read with me. And I think this is very probative and very interesting, man. I really, really do. So hopefully you'll be able to read with me just a bit if I'm not too much in the way. All right, so this is page 467 from the 501 page dump. There's so much here for us to look into. We're going to just do it slowly but surely, okay? This was investigator MJ Morris, supervisors M. Perez, and this was written on May 8th, 2024, and it was reviewed by the supervisor on the same day, and this is the investigative narrative. So this kind of walk us through the entire investigative process, right? That's why I chose to read this one for you guys, because we might find out something new, or at least get some insight into what the investigative process was for the investigator that made them make the decisions that they made. I didn't read this completely through, so there might be some things that surprised me. I just kind of like read the first paragraph or two, which we could see on the screen. And then I was like, yeah, I want to read into this. I'm going to share it with the friends and family on YouTube. Lastly, before I get started, please hit that like button, guys. Hit the like button. Support the channel. Please do hit the like button so we could get exposed to a wider audience. Let's do it. On February 26, 2024, at approximately 18:53 hours, Leticia Nunez called 911 to make a missing persons report. Okay. Leticia stated she was calling on behalf of blank, who is the mother to, we're going to say Madeline Soto, is a 13-year-old female who was missing, was reported missing from Hunters Creek Middle School. Leticia would call 911 2 different times after an initial call to Orange County, wanting to know why deputies haven't responded yet. So this is a big issue across the country with police responding in a timely manner to certain calls. And I got to tell you, that's because of lack of funding. A lack of funding and a lack of desire for people to become police officers after the advent of George Floyd. I'm not in any way taking a political position on George Floyd. I'm just telling you there was a big movement of vitriol against police officers, which resulted in a lot of people deciding not to become cops. So this is real. This is factual. It's got to change, because when you call 911, somebody has to answer the call. Has to. Otherwise, we'll just have anarchy. All right, so let's keep going. This incident would be documented under Orange County Sheriff's Office case number 24-011313. And notice that Jen Soto was not the person who called 911. That she did not ever call 911 for her missing daughter. Never, ever, never, ever. Let's keep going. All right. Blank completed a sworn written statement to Orange County deputies to the following. Blank stated on 2/26/2024 at approximately 0800 hours, she saw Blank getting ready for school. So I would assume that this is Jen, because she said saw Maddie getting ready for school. Remember, this was one of the first stories that she gave, that turned out to be a lie that was forgiven during that derivative use interview with William J., who is the lead prosecutor in Osceola County. Homicide, that is, lead homicide prosecutor. So he gave her derivative use immunity, which forgave her for this statement. So understand, ladies and gentlemen, she cannot be charged for this statement that this detective is now reading out to us in a narrative, or rather has written out to us. So she saw Maddie getting ready for school. Jen stated Stephen Stearns took her to school and dropped her off close to the school. Jen said Stephen dropped Maddie off on Town Loop Boulevard between Town Center Boulevard and Hunters Creek Lane. Jen said Stephen dropped her off between 8:30 and 8:45 hours. Jen stated that Maddie never made it to school. Maddie went to Hunters Creek Middle School around 1600. Oh, nope, excuse me. Jen went, remember it's the redacted. I'm trying to fill it in the best I can. Jen stated she went to the school at 1600 to pick up Maddie, but she never came out of the school. Jen stated she searched the area and then went to her mother's office but could not locate her. Deputy Joseph then contacted Stephen, who identified himself as Jen's boyfriend. Stephen stated he dropped Maddie off approximately 1 block away from Hunters Creek Middle School. Stephen said he watched Maddie walk in the direction of school while searching for something in her backpack. Stephen then drove to a local vape shop, which was closed, so he returned home to 412 Santa Maria Drive. Understand that's been out there. We're not doxing Jen's home. She's not staying there anymore anyway, and it'll probably be put up for sale soon. Stephen stated he left the residence about 1 hour later to go to the vape shop and to run errands, returning to the residence at approximately 14:30 hours. Now, I want to make a correction on myself with something I said on my earlier videos, which now doesn't really sit right with me. We even pulled up maps and stuff, but me not being from the area, I really didn't understand how things worked in that area. So I felt that dropping Maddie off by that church would be super far from school and unreasonable. I still feel it that way as a father. I would never drop my child off blocks from school or even a block from school, no matter how she feels or he feels. I'd have a conversation with them like, I understand that you're a teenager or whatever, and you're embarrassed about things, but your safety is the most important thing to me. So I'm going to drop you off in front of school, and that's just the end of it. And if you think my car is broke down, then do good in school so you could do better than me and make me proud, and you could afford a BMW or something. You know what I mean? I'm not dropping my kid off block from school, 2 blocks from school. Well, I felt that was far away. It's not far away. And people in the area reached out to me and told me that although they don't agree with Stephen Stearns and they think what happened to Madeline is horrible, facts are facts. And a fact is that the drop off and the pickup in front of Hunters Creek is so congested with traffic that many parents do drop their kids off at the church and the kids walk the rest of the way. So it's not unreasonable for somebody to drop a child off where Stephen Stearns dropped the child off. We know Stephen Stearns did not drop Maddie off, but he probably got the idea because he's seen it done before at that church. That's why. So I was wrong when I said it's unreasonable that he initially stated that he dropped off there, even though we know it's a non-issue because he never dropped her off there. He killed her inside of the apartment and dumped her body. But let's say we're in an imaginary world where Stephen Stearns did not kill Maddie and he had nothing to do with her disappearance, and he dropped her off there. At that time, I probably would have been like, what's wrong with this guy? You know, he should have protected his job. I mean, I'm looking at the chat and I said job because somebody said on the job. He should have, protect Maddie and make sure she was safe and sound in front of school. I probably would have still railed on him. But I would have been unreasonable if he was innocent and I railed on him about where he dropped Maddie off, because many parents use that area as a drop off. So let's keep going. I like to be honest, it is what it is, and to try my best to be fair to people. Even the bad guys deserve to be fair, treated fair. Sometimes, we had a case come across. I can't talk about that. But just know that even bad guys with bad records can be falsely accused of things and end up not being guilty of what they're accused of. It's possible. I've seen it happen before. That's why I try and be fair to everybody. So anyway, let's keep going. When Blank and Stephen were reporting Maddie, when Jen and Stephen were reporting Maddie missing, Stephen described Maddie to be wearing a green hoodie, blue pants, and white Crocs. That is correct, ladies and gentlemen. Jen then stated that Maddie was wearing black shorts during this interaction. It appeared as if Stefan was answering the deputy's question while Jen was trying to answer the questions. So basically he's saying that Stefan is talking over Jen and trying to dominate the conversation. But in that previous few sentences, Jen is lying. She doesn't know what Maddie was wearing. She did not see Maddie wear anything that morning. Jen was sleeping, allegedly. All right. So Stefan actually gave them a correct description of what she was wearing because he probably is the one who dressed her after he murdered her. But anyway, let's keep going. Stefan appeared confident in his answers about Madeline's description, where Jen didn't. Why was she giving information without confidence, knowing that she was sleeping and she didn't see the child? God only knows. But remember, she cannot be charged for any of these things. Don't worry, we're going to do a show that says why Jen should be charged. That's still in the books. We're still going to get that done. But she can't be charged for this, ladies and gentlemen. She cannot be charged for this because she got derivative use immunity. And during that interview, Jay Williams specifically said, we're not going to charge you for any false statements you made in the past, which includes false statements in this document. Let's keep going. Maddie was entered into FCIC as missing. Deputy Joseph from the Orange County Sheriff's Department contacted the on-call domestic crimes detective who investigated missing persons, who advised to send the report to the missing persons squad. Detective Hunt was assigned the missing persons case and began his investigation. Detective Hunt conducted interviews with Jen and Stefan to gather details regarding Madeline going missing. On February 27, 2024, approximately 11:16 hours, Detective Hunt made contact with Jen at the residence. Jen stated the following during her statement. Jen stated she last saw Madeline at approximately 2300 hours. Finally, we got the truth, or what the evidence lines up with the truth, on 2/25/2024. Let me see if I told Aki, I said, listen, we need more moderators, man. We need more moderators. And she's like, I will get them. But like, she's very particular on who she chooses to be a moderator. We need more moderators. Let me see if I could, you know what? So this is what I'm going to do. Foxy, I like Foxy. Foxy, you're a mod temporarily. All right? Temporarily, I will take away your moderation powers after today. But I'm making you a mod to help me out because you always come to the show. But remember, it's all on Aki. So after this live, your moderator powers will be taken away. All right? But I see you all the time, and I need some help. I need some help. So don't take it personally. Next time you come in live, you're not going to be a moderator. It's just, this is her purview, and I trust her, and she does what she has to do. I just need a moderator. Let me see if I get one more mod. Who's another person who's like long time? MK. I like MK. MK is always here. MK, you want to be a mod? Oh, Kelly Cosmos is good too. Who answers first gets it. Kelly or MK. Who's gonna answer first? Who's gonna answer first? Let's see here. Who wants to be a mod? If you answer first, you get to be a mod, because I got to keep going with this story here. Temporary mod for today. All right. LS, a.k.a. Chester, said congrats. Oh, Kelly says me. All right, cool. So here we go. So you guys are temporary mods just for today. I stress that because I want any hard feelings. There we go. All right, so we got 2 mods. Guys, anybody trolling, disrespectful, argumentative, without using points, just being disrespectful, just please moderate them. Any cursing or anything like that, moderate that. We don't do that here. But other than that, let people express themselves. Thank you so much, ladies, for showing me love. You guys are great. All right, let's keep going. All right. 2/25/2024, Jen stated Madeline went to the guest bedroom to sleep along with Stefan because she just started a new job and needed to get some sleep. So I've said this before, right? The way she gives this statement makes it seem like she had to work the next day. But come to find out, we know she didn't have to work the next day. But she definitely frames her statement like, I'm so tired, I gotta work, but she didn't have anything to do the next day but a doctor's appointment at like 10:30. And her daughter didn't have to be to school till 9. It's like she could have got all the, and she went to bed at like around 11:30. So she could have got more than enough sleep, even on medication, more than enough sleep to do her thing, wake up the next day, take the child to school, go to the doctor's appointment, then come home and take another nap. So very misleading the way she gave her statement. But anyway, due to the job she had gotten recently, Jen stated Madeline typically sleeps with her, and when Stephan comes into town, he will sleep in the guest bedroom. Jen stated Stephan moved out of her house sometime in December of 2023 because he was offered a job by his father, who lives in Northport, Florida. Jen stated Stephan has visited 2 to 3 times since he moved out. That was a lie. It was usually like 2 times a week. It finally came out from Jen and Stephan's parents. He has been there pretty much every week since he moved out. But let's keep going. Jen stated Stephan was planning on staying 1 week during this time because he was going to help with Madeline. The thing is, when they did a search of the clothing that Stephan had, he didn't have much clothing. He did not have much clothing. He only had like a couple of shirts, like 2 or 3 shirts. Certainly not enough to stay a whole week. Where was his underwear? Where was his toiletries? Where was his extra shoes? Where was his extra pants? Like, all they saw, from my understanding, from my recollection, all they had was just a couple T-shirts. So it's almost like he wasn't planning on staying that long. But then I just don't feel like he premeditated this murder before he came up. I think it happened on the spot. I think the premeditation was on the spot, in the home, in the bedroom with Maddie. Let's keep going. To help with Maddie and their dog while she was in training for her new job. Jen stated she couldn't remember when Stephan arrived. She said it was either Saturday or Sunday morning. I'm so confused. This doesn't make any sense. That's a lie. Jen stated that she heard people getting ready in the morning, but couldn't say for sure who it was. Jen stated Stephan accidentally woke her up while trying to get the leash on their dog. Jen stated she was going to help Stephan, but he was able to get the leash on the dog without her help. Jen confirmed she never saw Maddie that morning. Jen stated when she takes Maddie to school, she would leave no later than 8:50 hours. So, I mean, once again, she had more than enough time to get sleep. Look what time Maddie could get up and dress herself. Look what time mommy has to leave, 8:50, because school starts at like 9 or 9:10 or something like that. 9, I don't know, but wow. Jen stated the night before they agreed to have Stephan get Maddie ready for school and take her. Once again, talking about Madeline like she's some invalid. Talking about Madeline like she's like somehow developmentally delayed or something like that she can't even dress herself. Like she's on disability or something. She can't move her arms and, you got to dress her and, and stuff like that. That's not the case. Madeline was a normal 13-year-old girl. So what do you need this grown man to come and get her ready for school? Like, I can totally accept the verbiage, take her to school. Makes sense, right? Madeline has to be taken to school. But to get Madeline ready for school, I have a 12-year-old, I have a 16-year-old, 12-year-old, and a 5-year-old. I have a 12-year-old, and the 12-year-old gets herself ready for school and goes to the bus by herself at 6:30 in the morning. I don't even get up. I'm still asleep. The only child I get up for is the baby. And I don't get up 2 hours before he got to go to school. He has to go to school for 9. I get up an hour, 45 minutes before he has to go to school. So you mean to tell me, because I have a child that's younger than this child, that this child can't wake herself up and get dressed? That you need a grown man to come all the way 3 hours away from a different city, a different town, to come and dress your child and take your child to school? That's how she makes it sound. Doesn't make sense at all. Let's keep going. All right. See, I hate that when I do that because I lose my place. Okay. Got it. Jen stated Stefan was going to take Maddie to McDonald's, but she changed her mind at the last minute. When Detective Hunt asked Jen when she found the information out, she said Stefan called her at 10:18 hours in the morning. Jen inquired if they ever stopped at McDonald's, and Stefan said they didn't. Even though he tried convincing her several times, Stefan said she set her alarm for 9 o'clock, which is when she woke up. Jen left the residence around 9:30 hours to go to an appointment to have blood drawn. Jen stated she didn't see Stefan before she left. After Jen left, that is when Stefan called her to tell her about the McDonald's. Stefan also stated after he dropped off Maddie at school, he went to a vape shop, but they weren't open. Jen said she got home between 11:15 and 11:30. Stefan, that's Aki right there. Sorry, Aki. I live. I think I got a little pleasure in rejecting her just now. Let me just say, I'm so mean to her. That's my sister, if you guys didn't know. So I could be mean to her. Whatever. All right, so let's keep going. Okay. So Stefan said he didn't, even though he tried convincing her several times. Jen said she set her alarm for 9 o'clock, which is when she woke up. Jen left the residence around 9:30. She had that appointment. I think we spoke about that already. Stefan also stated he dropped off Madeline at school. He went to the vape shop. We said that already, but then they weren't open. We're getting there. Jen stated she stayed at home until 2:30 p.m. until she left to go pick up Maddie from school. Jen said she waited for approximately 10 minutes after the school bell rang for Maddie to come out to her car. Since Maddie didn't come out to the car, Jen stated she couldn't remember if she told Maddie to go to her grandmother's house. Okay. Then they redacted the grandmother's job. Jen called Maddie, who called the grandma, who stated that Maddie wasn't there, or called a friend. I think it was a friend that she called, one of the juvenile friends, just redacted, so it's hard to figure out who to fill in. But I think she called one of Maddie's friends, and they said she wasn't there. Jen drove around the area looking for Maddie, then went back to the school to speak with someone at the office. The office was closed. Jen said while she was driving to the school, she placed a call to Blank, who is Blank's best friend. So now I think this is the best friend. So I don't know who she called prior to that. That was redacted, but it's probably said in a different thing. So so just to let you know, Aki, we do have some temporary mods there. Foxy, Amazon, and Kaylee K Cosmos. They know that it's just for today and that you're in charge of moderators, and their moderation powers will be removed after today. So just letting you know why we have those extra moderators in the room. All right, let's keep going. Because you didn't pick up my call when I called you. That's why. All right, let's keep going. The office was closed. Jen said while she was driving to school, she was placed a call to Blank, who is Maddie's best friend. Blank stated Maddie never made it to school. Blank asked her what Jen asked her what she meant and said, we dropped her off to school. You see that? So that's not like a mistake. That statement that Jen made about dropping Maddie off to school, that wasn't a mistake. The quote that this detective is writing from his recollection is we. She didn't say I know he or we know him. Like she said first she took total ownership herself. Then she corrected herself and said we dropped her off close to school. Jen was sleeping when this happened. We know it didn't happen, but this story occurred when she was sleeping. Why would you put yourself with Stephen Stearns? Why would you put yourself by yourself? And then why would you put yourself with Stephen Stearns in this most pivotal moment of this investigation, which in essence threw off the investigation, ladies and gentlemen? literally threw off the investigation because now the cops are like, okay, well, mommy and boyfriend said they dropped her off. What's the odds that mommy and boyfriend collaborated to do something bad to this child? Well, she must have got dropped off. We got to start our investigation at this school. That was time wasted, ladies and gentlemen. It was time wasted because Jen gave Stephen an alibi. Jen gave Stephen an alibi by putting herself with him. Even maybe it was a mistake. That's what she contends. But that mistake made the police look in a place they did not necessarily need to look, or take the pressure off of looking at somebody they needed to look at from day one. Now we got 541 people who are watching the show right now. Please do hit the like button, support the channel. Hit the like button so we could get in that algorithm and be shown to a wider audience. We do appreciate any help you can give by hitting that like button. Let's keep going. Okay. Jen said she emailed Madeline's teacher to inquire about her attendance for school for the day, which confirmed she wasn't in school all day. At that point, Jen stated she called 911. That's a lie. She never called 911. She never called 911. You see all the lies that are in the statements? Why? We've gone over this before, but we've never gone over this document, this telling of the narrative. All these documents, even if it's interviews that were already went over, if it's written by somebody else, you're going to get something new out of it. You're going to get little things that are still probative, even though you already know the story. You're going to learn more about the story because you're hearing it from different people's perspective. And so just from reading this, which we've already gone through documents that spoke about these events before, we see little things that even shows more that Jen Soto is just a horrible person and a horrible mother. She said, I called 911. You never called 911, Jen. You never called 911. Your sister called 911. Your mother called 911. You never called 911. Shoot. Stephen Stearns probably dialed 911 before you dialed it. We know he didn't. But that's just how horrible it is that the mother of the missing child, who turns out to be an SA victim and a homicide victim, that mother never called 911. She did all these things. She went to the school. She called the teacher. She emailed the teacher. She called her friends. She called her mother's job. She called an unknown person that's redacted. She did all these things, but she never called 911. You're not so emotionally distraught that you can't check in with all these other people to figure out where your daughter is. So you want us to believe that you were so emotionally distraught that you couldn't even call 911 to have police come and give you some service and make sure that your child is okay, or to help them try and find your child? I'm just not buying it. I just don't. When the deeper we dig into this, the less I believe that Jen Soto gave a damn about Madeline Soto. And I'm so sorry to say that. The reason why I'm sorry to say that is because there's no evidence so far that the district attorney down there is willing to use to charge her and convict her of a crime. So technically she's innocent. And it's a fact that her daughter is dead. It is a fact that this mother has lost her child. So the last thing I'd want to do is denigrate this mother who's grieving one way or another over her child, but all the evidence tells me that you ain't shit. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Sometimes you just got to say it the way you need to say it. I know it's YouTube and we all want to coddle each other and we all want to be PC and all that stuff, but sometimes you just got to say what you got to say. Sometimes you got to call a spade a spade. Everything I see here, it may be unprofessional for me to say it, whatever professional is, because this is YouTube, this is not work. It may be untoward to say it, but it just, the New York comes out of me, it just seems like she ain't shit. She did not love Maddie. She did not care about Maddie. She did not put Maddie first, but I digress. Let's keep going. At that point, Jen stated she called 911. Jen said she is the one who typically gets Maddie ready for school, but this week she asked Stephen to help because of her new work schedule. She said, Jen said Stephen has only dropped Maddie off once or twice in the past. That might be the truth, but everybody else says that they've never seen Stefan take Maddie. And I'm more inclined to believe that he never took Maddie because Stefan Stearns does not like responsibility. Stefan Stearns does not like responsibility whatsoever, period. He doesn't take responsibility for his actions. He's not responsible to maintain a job. He does not like responsibility. I don't see Stefan Stearns as being the type of guy who would say, oh, okay, I'll take her today. Even if Jen was tired, even if Jen was feeling sick, even if Jen was out of it, drugged up on her medications, I still think Stefan Stearns would be like, can you just take her? I just don't feel like going. Oh, I'm all zonked out. Oh, we know how Stefan's talk. So roommates, neighbors, none of them have ever seen Stefan Stearns take Madeline solo to school. Jen says it happened once or twice in the past. That's still a little bit considering the guy's been living with the woman for close to 7 years. Or he's been in a relationship with her for close to 7 years and living with her for a couple of years. That's just horrible. Let's keep going. I might not even be able to finish this because I got to go to work. So 15 more minutes and then we got to call it a day. 15, 20 minutes max and we got to call it a day. Let's see here. See if I can find it. Waited approximately 10 minutes after the school bell rang. Nope, we're all the way down here because she wasn't in all day. Detective Hunt. Detective Hunt. Oh, once or twice in the past. Got it. Detective Hunt asked why Stefan would drop her off close to the school instead of on school grounds, what reasonable caregivers would probably ask. And she said Madeline was embarrassed to be seen in Stefan's vehicle. Detective Hunt inquired about Madeline's biological father, and Jennifer says that he lives in Texas, but stated she didn't believe Maddie would be making her way to Texas to see her father due to the limited contact they have had with each other. And if there's ever a true statement that Jen ever said, this is the most truthful statement she ever said. Anybody who knows anything about this case knows that she's not lying about that. And because I called that out, because I called this statement out right here to be factual, man, listen, the YouTube gods came for me. The YouTube gods came for me. But you know what? Truth is the truth, people. We can't run away from facts. Anyway, let's keep going. Jen said Maddie left her debit card and cellular phone at home. Jen said Maddie has ADHD and she would leave her phone at home. Jen also stated Maddie was diagnosed with autism at the same time of her ADHD, which is a lie. Because why would you say she was diagnosed with autism if you said that on later evaluation they said she doesn't have autism? Why would you give her a diagnosis that she doesn't have? Because we're all biased in our own way. In a cop's head, he's gonna think, all right, the extreme case of autism that she might be walking towards a water source or something. Some people with some types of autism, they are attracted to water. That results in a lot of drownings from autistic people every year. Like you're thinking in your head that you're dealing with somebody who may not be high functioning. Why would you put your daughter in that space when she's not supposed to be in that space? She's a normal 13-year-old girl. And as I said 1,000 times, all the problems that Maddie had psychologically had nothing to do with ADHD, had nothing to do with autism. It had everything to do with her being traumatized. The only acronym that Madeline Soto suffered from was PTSD, not ADHD. And it's easy to get a misdiagnosis on these things when you don't know about the underlying trauma that's causing them. So you take Madeline to a psychologist. The psychologist doesn't know that she's being sexually abused every freaking night. They don't know that. So how are they supposed to know that these behaviors are as a result of her being abused rather than her having some type of developmental or behavioral issue or psychological issue or something to that effect? So this previous autism diagnosis that later was rescinded. The reason why the doctors can't get it straight, in one moment they said she might be autistic, next one, oh, she autistic traits, because he's been molesting her since 6 years old. What do you think a young child is going to do when they're being used and abused the way she's been used and abused since she was 6 years old? In my opinion, I believe 6 years old. But the video evidence shows 8 years old. But I believe 6 years old because I understand the psychology of those predators. They can't help themselves. The moment he would be able to be alone with Maddie, he would start abusing her. And since he's been in her life since 6 years old, he started abusing her at 6 years old. We just saw where he started to record it. We have observed when his depravity went to the next level where he felt like he needed to start documenting it. That's what we've observed. Anyway, let's keep going. I digress. But doctors recently reassessed and stated she only has autistic traits, but weren't for sure if she had autism. Detective Hunt asked if he could take Madeline's cellular phone to examine its contents, which she agreed and provided to him. Detective Hunt asked what she thought happened. She said she didn't think Maddie would run away. She was dropped off between 0830 hours and 8:45 hours, which is earlier than normal. Jen said Stephen told her when he dropped her off, she was rummaging through her backpack, assuming she was looking for her phone. Detective Hunt concluded his interview shortly thereafter. Okay, cool. All right. I think I'm going to stop here because there's so much here that I want to get into. This is really good. And I want to continue this and give it its due diligence and its due justice because, wow, I mean, we're finding out things that we haven't even heard before from this perspective, just by reading this narrative again. So, I'll stop it here because I have to go, but we'll pick it up on another day. We'll pick it up on another day. We do have other shows that we have planned. So this will be a part one. I'll make sure I put part one on the title. But we do have to do the case for Jen Soto being guilty, and we also have to do the show as to why Stephen Stern's TBI defense will not work. So those are two shows that I've been putting off for a while, but I'm definitely gonna do them, guys. So we gotta rock and roll on that, man. So anyway, appreciate all of our temporary mods for the love that you guys did, stepping up to the plate and showing that love. All the other mobs came in kind of Johnny come lately, but you guys were here, so I appreciate you. You guys are great. Keep up the good work. And big shout out to Aki and Erica B for coming through and showing that love. Big shout out to everybody who just popped in and showed me love in this pop-up live. Like I said, I just wanted to get everybody's minds off the election. You know, I just feel like, hey, you know what? I don't know. I just felt like there was a lot of unease in the universe. And I want to be a safe place for you guys. I want to be a safe place for the victims, for the survivors and the warriors. And I want to be a safe space for you guys as my community. We may not always agree on things. We may have different beliefs on a lot of different things, believe it or not. But I think that we could build a community where we could all come through, hang out, and feel like it's okay to be us here, right? So that being said, please hit that like button. Got a lot of people watching, a lot, you know, I see all the metrics. YouTube just shows all kinds of data to content creators. And I have people who are just watching this entire stream without even taking a break and no like button. Like, hit the like, guys, hit the like. Anyway, guys, I'll see you guys on the next one. Please look out for those new shows that are coming out. Make sure you come through. I'm going to be a little tired. I'm working a night shift tonight. So I'm going to be tired for those shows for the next 2 days, but I'm going to do them because I put them off long enough. So make sure that you come through and support me. Keep me up. Keep me, you know, invigorated, you know, to give you guys the great show that you deserve. Big shout out to everybody. Oh, big shout out to JPL, who's a member for 3 months. Thank you so much, JPL, for supporting the channel. And before I go, is make sure I got everybody who may have supported the channel. Okay, cool. That's it. Perfect. All right. I'll see you guys on the next one. Strategic is out of here. Peace.